episode 4. I'm Wednesday, by the way.
I'm Tabby. Alright, so this topic is very, very important because it's a topic that I know a lot about, but I do not follow. You want to introduce it?
You want to introduce it? Time management.
I know. It's terrible. I'm terrible at time management. You want to tell the people about how bad I am?
Yeah, she's never on time. That's all I gotta say. We have an event at 8 o'clock. She's definitely there at 9.
Oh my god. No, you're being dramatic. No.
Tell me that isn't true.
I'm like a 10-minute person.
If I want to go grab a beer with you, I'm gonna say 7 if I want you to be there at 8, for sure.
I mean, you should, but I'll show up at like. If you tell me that you want to be there at 8 and you say 7, I know you're lying to me, so I'll show up at 8:15 regardless.
Jesus, do you have trust issues? So time management. I think like some of the things we want to talk about is like some skills that we have or some non-skills that we have. If that makes sense. We're bad at it, but we're good at it at the same time. Enough to get us through this business. The ripple effect has been going up the whole way, and time management has been a big thing for us. Especially with all the events that we've been throwing. Every single month we have to be on time. Like every single thing has to have a time measure. We have whiteboards literally throughout the whole crib.
Yeah, we fought about them. I got a whiteboard because we're going through like a move at our job, and I told my boss like, "Hey, I want this whiteboard," and he's like, "I want this whiteboard," and I was like, "Oh, that reminds me. Now that I'm here, you're training me for the whiteboard, the small one."
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because I'm getting the small one. He's getting the big one. Because apparently he has 4 times.
We have a lot more to do. The ripple effect. Yes. Vampire Punk Boys. Oh yeah, we dropped an amazing song yesterday, 2 days ago. Last weekend by Vampire Punk Boys. It's out on Spotify right now. We're just getting
Apple Music and everything else.
Yeah, everything else.
At
we're getting,
Vampire Punk Boys,
and we need the whiteboards. The reason why I'm saying is we need the whiteboards to make sure we stay on time with everything, marketing wise, strategy wise, and that's what we're getting into, time management.
Yeah, basically we know how to make sure that you are on time and you're following time management, even if I personally do not follow. I'm gonna give you great advice.
So, Ty, what are some of the things that we do, like as far as our ripple effect, as far as like our music that we want to curate? I feel like those are good examples of time management for us.
Yeah, I think you're really good at time management. Honestly, amazing.
That's a really good compliment. Thank you. So, some of the things we do is first of all look at things from a broad perspective. Is the first thing you do. So right now we're in end of July. We have things on the calendar for October, November, the beginning of November. So first of all, you got to think at that scale. Then you think everything in between. What do I have to do to get to my goal at that time in November? Everything leading up to that has steps for every part of that process. So for the music, it's 3 different artists who are also releasing music together. That's 4 artists. So you have to worry about things like promotion schedules running into each other because they all support each other online as well. So I always compare it to like groups that are popping now, so it makes sense. Like I use A$AP Rocky and that whole collective as an example. So everybody knows who Ferg is now, but when Rocky first popped and dropped his first album, we didn't know a Ferg.
That's true.
Ferg was supporting Rock.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like we have that kind of going here, and it's obvious who's where, and amount of talent on the roster is so crazy. We just have to be able to balance it, and there's not enough time in the world to do it. We want to do it, so we just got to plan it.
Oof, that play on words though. I'm here for it. Yeah, 100%.
What about you? What do you do for time management?
Okay, so I can tell you what you should do, because I don't do it, but I should tell you what you should do. So I think about time management in the sense, first of all, I would like to say that when I need to really be on time, I am on time. So
only for nail appointments.
Nail appointment and interviews, like I'm on time to every interview. Once I get the job, I'm like, y'all gonna know the real me. But every interview, I am on time for. I think things that you should do, like in order for time management, because my biggest struggle is traveling. That's really like what really like gets me every time. It's like the time to get from here to there. So one thing you should do is set your alarms ahead, like in your car. You should set your car timer for like 10 minutes ahead, so you're like Is it ahead, or is it ahead or behind?
It'll be
Yeah, because then you're like, oh my god, I'm running late, but it's like, nah, you're not running late. Set your alarms to, like, if you know you have to be somewhere at a certain time, like, if you know the time that it makes you to get ready. Like, honestly, for me, it's just that I love sleeping. That's really the problem. Like, if I didn't sleep as much as I did, I would be on time. Because getting ready, I'm like, during the week, I'm like, ponytails, no makeup, leggings, and
you have
a
to,
t-shirt.
you have to join the vampire lifestyle. That's the reason.
You guys don't sleep.
Big time.
That's serious though. Like, sleep is a sacrifice, first of all.
Yeah.
It
But
is.
like, getting yourself out of that bad habit is literally something you can force yourself. First of all, natural light is one.
Yeah.
The second thing is the alarm. You're setting your alarm to the point that you want to be up. When you need to set the alarm an hour before that.
That's
to
true.
Adjust your body for the first time of the day.
That's true. And another good one is, I learned this, again, I know these tips, I just don't follow them. But my cousin, he sets his, when he sets his alarm, he puts his phone to charge across the room.
Yep.
So when his alarm goes off, he has to get up to turn his alarm off. Me,
That's a good
I'll
idea.
sleep through it. I'll
That's a
sleep through
good
it.
idea.
I put one alarm right next to me, cut it off, and I'm like, the second alarm.
That's
Yeah.
a good idea.
Yeah, so you have to get up and get your body flowing and moving and going. And that brings me to another thing about time management. If you know you want to do like all these things, like in the morning, I still do take like that 5 minutes to just do a quick meditation in the morning. But if you want to do things in the morning, like a routine and stuff like that, you have to accommodate for your routine. So if you know it takes you an hour like to do your routine and then get ready, you gotta accommodate for all that time.
That's where I need to be more disciplined, because I'll skip the routine. Usually I make myself try to walk out here every morning, like as my first movement in the morning, and I'll hit that alarm, I'll hit that snooze, and like be on my phone, fall back to sleep because I have a second snooze on. You know what I mean? And I'll never come out here before I start getting dressed because I slept on.
But on top of that, the past 5 days have been us not sleeping.
Literally.
Like, we would go to sleep at 4 a.m. and wake up at 8 a.m. Like
Yeah.
that, we probably got in the past 4 or 5 days a good 10 hours of sleep.
Yeah, that was you last weekend too.
You kissed me last weekend.
I didn't mean
Good
to do
job.
that. I didn't mean to do that, but then I did at the same time. Like I was waiting for you to
Shameless
catch on
plug.
to it, right? Yeah.
Shameless plug.
No, but we really did do that last weekend. Like we did not sleep, or you didn't, because I got my extra sleep.
I
but
definitely
on
didn't
Friday,
sleep.
we did not sleep.
I didn't sleep, but I think time management, like for me personally, is on a bigger and broader scale. Like it's not just times like dates of things. It's more so spending my time on certain things in my life, right? So it's like I gotta attend events for myself, but events also for promotion. So that's two different things that I gotta spend my time with, as well as working the jobs that I have to work, as well as making music, as well as spending time with the people around me that I care for. You know what I mean? Like everything is happening at once. So I gotta make sure that I split my time up accordingly. So for me, time management is super important, and I try my best at it. I know sometimes like I leave things out, but like it's all about prioritizing what's most important to you. So like if you need to get something done, and something I try and do, well at least did in the past, and I'm trying to get back into now, is like setting up my goals for the week. It's like what do I need to do, and what are the things that I want to do. So the things that you need to do, definitely have them first. The things that you want to do, you can put them in there, but like stagger them because they're not necessary like this week.
I want to go back to when you were talking about like also making time for like the people that you care about, stuff like that. I think that we're really blessed in the sense that the time that we do spend, we're also getting a lot of things done. And we're like a group of friends and a group of family that like we're able to really accomplish a lot of things together while having fun and while being able to talk to each other. Yeah, like while being able to hang out with each other and everything like that. Like I feel really blessed that we get to do that, because it does kind of, your social lives kind of get it, that whole process gets kind of cut in half, because you're like, okay, well I can do my social life with the people that I socialize with and get business done.
Right.
It's about people outside of the group that you're kind of like, oh, I gotta make sure that I have time for this person and that person.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You gotta write in time for these.
And even more so than that, like you gotta know that you're human. You will subconsciously get distracted with shit. You know what I'm saying? On a daily basis. So like you have to pull yourself back on track. So like what do you have to do to accomplish not doing that and fix the bad habit before it even comes? Put yourself in a situation to where it can't happen. Literally me being here now. Like, the change in the system and the amount of production on a daily basis has changed drastically. You know what I mean? And it's literally on a communication thing. I don't have to hit somebody's phone, wait for them to finish whatever work they're doing. Because we all have hectic ass schedules.
Yeah, you do.
So I gotta wait for somebody to finish what they're doing. By the time they're done, get me back, I'm doing something. You know what I mean? So the communication 10 times quicker when I can log on and call this. You know what I mean? So like that alone is killing that. Content production. Like double it. Because one person's working on something, the other one's watching. Like there's always a phone, there's always a camera, period. Everybody can play every role. You know what I mean? And learn every role at this point. Like there's gonna come a time where everybody can do everything. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Be a jack of all trades and a master of none.
I think that was a big loss in the industry before, maybe like 10 years ago or not. That like you always had to go and find somebody who could do that for you. But now that we do have phones, like you were saying, it's a lot easier to capture the moments that we need to capture, and they're super organic too. Like over the weekend, us making music, now those things are captured on phones, and like we have videos of us rehearsing for the first time ever with the band. Like to me, that's amazing. Like it's a whole different vibe. But now we have videos of us first doing this shit. So then 3 years from now, when this shit like is up in the sky, we can go back to that and be like, yo, remember when we first started this shit?
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
And the
Like,
best part about it is, and what matters to us in the end is that the fans can. At the end of the day, that's what they want. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They want to be able to resonate with it, grow with you as a band. You know what I mean? And see like, damn, this is literally the first rehearsal, like the first show is the next week after that.
and honestly, there's nothing more than what we've been focusing on as far as time management with like the band members, because they're up in Orlando, they're up in Tampa. So like now we're really on a strict schedule. I only have them for the weekend. That means everything else has to be cut out of my life for 2 to 3 days. 2 to 3 days. Just so that we can not only get music done, but also talk about the upcoming moves, talk about, you know, the shows that we have coming up, the rehearsal that we need to do. We have so much that is on our plate at this point that like time management is such an important skill to have for us.
It
That
is.
brings me
It
to
is.
the important point to say there too is covering up. I mean, covering for the bullshit that's gonna happen along the way. So, what you just got through saying, these guys gotta hit the road for us to do that. You know what I mean? At least to the best potential that we have. We could send each other shit, but realistically, it happens in the moment every time.
Every
Which is
single
what
time.
makes it the best every time. So
it-
like,
oh, sorry.
hold on, let me finish this one. That being said, when the main guitarist fucking tears his ACL, you know what I mean, and can't come as often as he once was, like you have to adjust to that and figure out, okay, when do we have time on the schedule, or later on, and it's about to get filled with what I can't do right now because this nigga just took the shit.
Right. Makes sense.
And I think another good thing about like when you guys were talking about like technology and stuff like that, with time management, everybody's everywhere. Like you have somebody in Orlando, somebody in Tampa, someone in Miami or whatever, and you may not, even though you have to physically be together to make music, you can schedule calls, FaceTimes to like have rollouts, to have conversations, like to make sure that you're managing your time correctly. Like I know I just had a conversation with a girl who wants to vendor for a Ripple Effect showcase coming up. Her and I, our schedules are completely opposite, and I literally sent her a voice memo. We had a phone call set up, and we missed the phone call because we were both like super busy, and I just was like, listen, let me just send you this voice memo really fast. It took like 10 minutes, boom. Like, we got her, she's good, we had a great conversation. Like, with technology comes being able to manage your time a lot better with the people around you. You can send calendar invitations. I'm a paper person, but you can send emails. You can send all these things to set up the times to make sure like, hey Siri, remind me this, or hey, this and that's going on. You know what I mean? Like, because of technology, it goes hand in hand with time management. Like, being bad with time.
But on top of that, honestly, like, even though we can send the songs out or send the schedule things with people in another state, in another city, people who are not here, it's also them putting themselves accountable. And I know I'm going back to the last episode, but like, it's
That's a good
them
point.
Yeah, them holding themselves accountable to those time periods that we need to have. Because now, I know you're dealing with a lot, I know I'm dealing with a lot, and we're busy just like you and her for the vendor situation. But now you have to hold yourself accountable to this time schedule because I don't have any other time to talk to you.
It's true. Yeah.
So
I mean, we're constantly setting up phone calls with people, like
Exactly.
always, 24/7.
So like, what comes with that is when you're dealing with other people, you have to consider who you're dealing with in certain situations, right? So like in the music industry, one thing that everybody knows universally is when you have a time for something, it's pretty much a ballpark. Like it's not. So like, and that's gonna come from every angle of that, whatever it was, whether it be an interview, an event, all that. So like meetings, everybody has such hectic schedules that it's not gonna be at 5:30 it's gonna be 7 a week.
Right.
You know what I mean? So like, that being said, then you gotta think when you're talking about what type of entertainment, music specifically, like dealing with an artist, a band, that's 3 different personalities that are all egos at the end of the day. So you're not gonna be on time for pretty much anything. You know what I mean? You have to account for that.
You do.
And, like,
it's hard.
The people who you have to also be picky and choosy on when you bring out your bark to make sure it happens for certain stuff. So like an example is working with like let's use yesterday, right? So right. I'm not even gonna go all the way into the situation we had. I just wanna like use this as a great example for what we're talking about.
I'm not laughing because
So like you have no idea what I'm saying.
No, I'm not laughing. I'm
what
laughing
you're
because
talking
I'm laughing because you're like something about someone, and then you're let's talk about yesterday, and like you're Wednesday, so like it's like yesterday could be an actual person. I'm laughing because I'm corny. I'm just laughing
Right.
in my own head. Like it's
That's
nothing to
funny
do
though.
with time management, no
That's hilarious.
topic. I'm just being me. It is funny, right?
So
I
what's the
think
situation?
Okay, so-
I wasn't here.
So getting an artist to something that you deem important for their career, and quite frankly, just for their reputation, right? So working with somebody for the first time versus the second or third. When you work with somebody already, it's like you felt this person out already, you're comfortable with them, like you know what to expect when they arrive. When you haven't worked with them, it's like almost like a nervous feeling where it's like, I don't know what this person is going to be on, what type of energy is this person, you know what I mean? So I deem it important to be as respectful as you can.
Like the studio session.
Right, exactly. So when you show up to something, be prompt about it. You know what I mean? Like, have the leverage to be the bigger person when you arrive. Because if anything happens, it was on them. You know what I'm saying?
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Like, and you can't be blamed for anything in that. So like, from a managerial role, like I have to make sure we look good in that regard. Because that's our industry publicity. You know what I mean? Being prompt to things is really a reflection for me because of the role I play. And frankly, they don't care about what I do. They care about what they do. So it's a reflection of them. So if they show up to something smelling a certain way in front of a certain person, you can't have it.
That brings me to another point. So, time management within the studio, because we were talking about the studio session we had. I got a 6-hour session. So every artist out there knows if you get a 6-hour session, you only have so long to do the things that you need to do within the session, right? But for me, it's on a different type time. It's like, I'm gonna pay for this session, especially a first session with an engineer that I've never met. I'm gonna pay for this session to catch a vibe. Because like, the first time I'm gonna meet somebody, I have to vibe with you. Like I have to feel comfortable. The studio, like I'm not used to being in a big studio because I'm very personal. I like to be in my own room and like do my own stuff and that's just the way I am. So like being in a new studio for the first time, I'm gonna catch a vibe from the engineer and then we're gonna work from there. When I was in a 6-hour session the other day, we got one song done and it was not even done. Like one song done and it's not even done. So the point of me saying that is like,
It's an hour and 4 hours.
yeah, an hour on 4 bars, like just to make sure that's good. But like in music, that's how it is. It's like if you want this, good music. If you want this to be the best song possible, you're gonna spend the time to make it the best song possible. That includes money. So time management, money management comes into that as well
It does.
for me and for I'm sure for a lot of people depending on what you're doing. Time is money, money is time. So
Yeah.
don't waste it.
You
That's
know,
what I'm saying.
it's really hard, especially I feel like this happens a lot. But it's not wasted time. But I feel like once you get into a room, and it happens all the time when we come here to the house and like you guys are recording recording, like we have a plan for something and we're like, this is how our night's gonna go, and then we're managing it this way, and then all you have to do is just hit the play button. Song pops up, someone's like, let me get on that track, let me get on that verse. Ty's like, yo, you need to add this, you need to add that, and next thing you know, it's like 3 o'clock in the morning, no one has slept, and we have gone nowhere. But banger has been made.
That's about prioritizing your time at that point.
No, but I think
What's
it's
more important right now? Creating this magical moment that won't happen tomorrow, or doing something that we have the opportunity to do next week.
And it's true, and I think that when you're in a creative environment, like that stuff, like time management tends to go out the window in the sense that like you are taking your time to do what you want to do.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? And like you're just bouncing off ideas off each other, and you're helping each other out, and all these things. So like sometimes you have to weigh it out. Like even though you have a plan for something, things got me. Even though you have a plan for something, like it doesn't always go that way. And I think that like in a creative environment, as creatives, like that's always happening to us. Like,
Absolutely.
always. Like we work the 9 to 5, we do what we gotta do during the week, but then when we have our time, it's like it's
all
like
about
you're just
building.
locked up and you're just creating. You're just
It's all about
getting it flowing.
I mean, that brings it to a good endpoint to me. Time management is super important for every field that you're in. It doesn't matter what field you're in. For us, it's a creative field, so it's a little bit more hectic. I mean, I feel like personally, if you don't think so, you can drop a comment. But I think that the creative field in the entertainment industry is super like time management. It has to be done. It has to be done a certain way, and it has to be done by a certain time.
Yeah.
So time management for us is super important. That's how we've gotten the ripple effect to be what it is. By the way, the ripple effect is at SFL Ripple Effect. If you guys want to check it out, it's for artists, independent artists. If you guys want to come, perform, whatever, send us through your music, and we'll put you on a stage down here in South Florida. We have a lot going on, so keep up with us. Free Thoughts on Wednesday.
I'm Tabby.
Time.
And that's it. Episode